Welcome to Cyber Materials Ask Me Anything Cyber, a fun, interactive weekly event for everything cybersecurity. Join us every week at noon Eastern Time for a high-energy, quick-hit recap of the week's biggest cyber stories, from data breaches and threat intel to major legal updates. Whether it's a high-profile hack, a new APT on the rise, or a must-attend summit, we've got it covered. But that's not all. We'll also break down the latest job market trends, share our thoughts on cyber stocks, and give you actionable insights to stay ahead. And of course, we wrap things up with what makes this show special: live Q&A with you. Have a question about a breach? Want to know how a threat works? Curious about getting started in cyber? Let us know and we'll answer it live. Without further ado, let's get this event started.
Hi,
Hello. Welcome to Ask Me Anything Cyber. Hi, Prapti. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? It's been a while since I spoke to you. I'm sorry I couldn't join the last event.
That's okay. We had a fun conversation with Jayesh talking about Cloud Village and what they're cooking up for DEF CON. But today, we're going to have a fun event. And because I wanted to start this event a little bit like sort of fun, I do have my cream cheese and chives and Knicks in five. So hopefully the Knicks they win the NBA championship on Saturday. So L New York is so hyped for New York Knicks now. So if any New Yorker is watching out there, let's stay strong. Knicks in five, and see you on Saturday, guys. How are you,
Yeah,
Prati? How's it going?
I'm good. Over here, we're kind of excited about the FIFA World Cup, and I think it's tonight, so we're going to be watching it. Everybody is awake. We're kind of like preparing our jerseys as well. So, yeah, we're very excited for it too. Do you watch
That's
the
so
FIFA?
fun. Yeah, I do. So I know today is gonna be the World Cup opening, and I know there's a lot of things like going on out there about like cybersecurity stuff regarding the
Yeah,
World Cup, and there's a few headlines that I sort of wanted to talk about, and this is fun because it sort of goes with what we are experiencing right now
yeah,
and with exactly what is happening like to regular users, and those are the fans, right?
yeah,
And on all the scams going on and everything. But
yeah.
before we jump into the headlines, I wanted to talk about a new threat that has been detected, a new apt,
Yeah.
and this is something that we've been like sort of tracing, and it's been attributed to a nation state actor. So
Okay.
before jumping into that part, we're gonna watch a quick video, right?
Yep.
Okay, so let's watch it and we jump right into.
Every cyber attack has a face, from malware and scams to the actors behind them. Know your enemy. Stay one step ahead.
So,
We are back,
yeah.
right?
So, what is this nation state actor? What happened?
So this is a new like nation state actor that has been discovered the past few months, and
Okay.
I wanted to talk about it because it's called Gopher Whisper APT. Most people
Okay.
think that cyber attacks they may look like broken system, you know that, right?
Yeah.
Like creepy ransom notes or like very obvious breaches. But
Yeah.
there's a new kind of operation happening right now, and is a group called Gopher Whispered, and it has been
Okay.
observed using very different techniques, not their own infrastructure, but they use the infrastructure that we use every day. And that
Yeah. It's in
means,
Discord. Yeah.
yeah, Slack, Discord, Microsoft 365. So that means that these same platforms that your teams or everybody relies on for work
Yep.
are being used as commands channels for espionage. Now, there are no suspicious servers, no malware, just normal traffic doing what we say abnormal things. And
Yeah.
that's the shift of this new threat actor. These are like modern cyber operations that are no longer about breaking, but it's about blending completely.
Yeah.
So
So how are they doing that?
that's a great question. And this is something everybody should look into it. And it's something like everybody like should sort of put attention to, because it blends so simply.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna break it down very simple for you.
Yep.
If a traditional cyber attack, we can say, and like they break a window or they go through the front door.
Yep.
That's what it usually means, like a traditional cyber attack. What Gopher Whisper actually does, we're talking about a Chinese aligned espionage group, which
Okay.
was identified by asset researchers. And what makes it like very interesting is not what it does, but is how it communicates. Now,
Okay.
Gopher Whisper, they actually target SaaS-based platforms, identity abuse, stealth exfiltration. Now, it changes the defense model. So you are not longer defending endpoints or malware. You're just defending identity, permissions, and platforms that you actually trust. So I want you to like to sort of think about like we've been putting antivirus, we've been putting firewalls, we've been securing, encrypting everything, but they're going through a very common like platforms like Discord,
Yeah.
Slack.
Slack.
Exactly. And I know everybody's using Slack
Yeah.
and everybody is like, like very popular application that it
Mm-hmm.
sort of helps you communicate internally with a lot of
Your
other
team. Yeah.
partners.
Like. Yep.
And, like it could be, for example, a vendor that creates a Slack so
Uh-huh.
you can talk to them, or it could be I don't know, cybersecurity support group, like
Yeah.
a lot of things happening on Slack. And what makes it like, like very interesting is like, instead of like building obvious attacker infrastructure, like any suspicious command server or any like suspicious IP address, they're
Okay.
using these legitimate platforms. And you think about what that means, right? The attacker is no longer outside of the environment, they're operating inside tools you already trust.
Yes.
And once inside their system, they usually compromise, like sending commands through Slack, receiving
Okay.
instructions through Discord channel, or using Microsoft Outlook APIs as a communication layer to bypass authentication channels. Now,
Okay.
from a network perspective, it looks like a normal business activity. So they sort of are in stealth mode. So sometimes when you have like a Slack with, I don't know, 100 people or
Mm-hmm.
1,000 people Slack channel, it's
Mm-hmm.
very hard to track if there's somebody new joining into your platform.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's what they do. They sort of mask themselves as part of the company or as part of the group or as part of something. And what makes it very dangerous, it looks like a normal activity, right? They're just
Yeah.
they're gathering like information. And the
Okay.
problem is like we know that traditional tools they are trained to detect anomalies in infrastructure,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
there's nothing to detect here. And by the time you catch them, it's too late because they already exfiltrated data. And I know exactly what it means for people like building endpoint security or setting up security tools. So what I can recommend to everybody is like most organizations they assume that Slack or
Yeah.
Discord or Microsoft 65 they are safe by default. But the reality, these are also like common channels. They don't have the security by default that someone assume.
Yeah.
We know that they have 2FA or they have,
The basic
like
protection layers.
exactly, but they are just joining the platform as a regular user. So it's not like
Yeah.
they're hijacking your Slack account. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
They're
So
just joining like an imposter.
exactly. So it's not like they are stealing your credential and logging into
Mm-hmm.
your Slack account or Discord account. They are actually being part of the organization or being part
Yeah.
of the Slack channel, and they are
Hmm.
attacking through there. So SMS authentication or MFA, it doesn't work there because they
Yeah.
create a normal account. So those are the things that I can like recommend people is to actually monitor for anomalous logging behavior.
Hmm.
They can continuously audit for, could be apps consent that you give to these platforms, or OAuth tokens, or even checking every week if the people that are in the channel are supposed to be. So those are the things that people start have to start thinking about, having
Yeah.
someone auditing these platforms to check if those who are in are the ones that belong to, right?
Yeah, but how are they getting these invite links? That's also very suspicious. Like, because it's a company's internal link, and then that depends, I think, on the person who shares it.
Well, the thing is, like, sometimes somebody else's inbox has been compromised, so they are able to
Uh-huh.
gather
Okay.
evidence from that inbox. So they find all these links and they try to join the platform
Mm-hmm.
with a legitimate or accepted link sent to a legitimate person,
Person,
or
yeah.
sometimes they crawl the internet, sometimes they are indexed on Google, or they are invited by accident, because with social
Okay.
engineering saying I'm a legit
Yeah.
vendor or whatever it means. So there's a lot of point of entry, and what I can recommend is regular audit.
Mm-hmm.
Check all the slacks that are connected to external applications. Revoke Google or Microsoft or Auth credentials or applications, and try to change it month to month. Verify any third party SaaS integration, and remove unused integrations aggressively. So if you don't have to connect a third party application, don't do it.
And are they
Or
just like stealing data like quietly? Like there's no other sign of them existing inside the system?
um, yeah,
I don't think
yeah,
there would be unless you actually do the auditing.
okay, yeah, it makes sense what you're saying. But in the sense of like, you can complement auditing, and you can
Yeah.
complement also revoking access to applications that you
Mm-hmm.
no longer use. So for example, if you connect Google Sheets with Slack
Mm-hmm.
for one time use, disconnected after you finish
You're
using
done
that
with it. Yeah.
integration. Or if you connect Canva, or if you connect any other third party application, and sometimes you lose tracks, right?
Yeah.
You forget on how many times you use
Yes.
that connection, and that's where most of the bones are coming through. So
Mm-hmm.
my final message for this is like, the question here is no longer like, is the traffic suspicious? Now the question becomes, do we trust everything that looks normal? So I would love to
Yeah.
hear in the comments here what people think about these type of attacks, these platforms, how they can improve security, and how, as cybersecurity professionals, we can also help our customers or even our internal teams on how to protect against these common threat actors.
Yeah, and I think the first thing would be awareness, because if you don't even know that Gopher Whisper is out there and there's a nationwide APT out there that could put you at risk, there is no other way of finding out about this. So the
Yeah.
best way is prevention, to understand who you have to stop and what you have to stop. So thank you, Sophie. I guess know your enemy is for this very reason.
Yeah, true. And there's like, remember we started talking about like the World Cup and everything. I
Yeah,
do have like a specific headline that I wanted to sort of dig into, because that's something that every fan out there should be aware of,
yeah.
what is happening and how to protect themselves. And
Mm-hmm.
this is like a very good statistic, and I'm gonna like put it on screen here, because I wanted to talk about, this is what we call the cyber threat alert. And
Okay.
it has a lot of things happening, and one of the things that I wanted to talk about, it's about the cyber criminals with the FIFA World Cup.
Yeah.
Only like mostly is about, like, for example, um, about what is happening right now with the FIFA World Cup. There's a lot of things going on around the tournament, and it haven't even started, right? And we are having a lot of like threat actors um targeting users,
Yeah.
and trying to take advantage of this popular event that is going to happen for 41 days.
Yeah.
And this is a research between law enforcement agencies and private companies, and they're warning that attackers are actively building out of the scale fraud ecosystems
Okay.
around the the World Cup, right?
Yeah.
And what we know is that this is very worrisome, because there has been around around 13,000 I can say domains registered
Okay.
that are associated with FIFA or World Cup
Okay.
or 2026, or something like it's like connected to the World Cup, right? And
Okay. So it's
and
just data, like they're stealing data.
exactly. No, but what you're doing exactly is like there are 13,000 domains, like it could be like FIFA World Cup 2026, FIFA World Cup
Yeah. Anything.
26 World Cup, like, this
Yeah.
common. So they have registered 30,000 domains, and they are confirmed to be or suspected to be used for malicious purposes. Now,
Okay. Ticketing
the FBI.
frauds, I think, would be one of them, right?
Yeah, and the FBI is warning that the attackers are impersonating FIFA branding to steal personal information, to steal financial information. And what makes it like specifically dangerous, of course, is the timing. Everybody is
Mm-hmm.
like very excited, and we know
Yeah.
that World Cup only happens for like every
Yeah.
4 years.
4 years. Yeah.
So whenever it is like around like close to you, everybody's so excited, and they sort of
Yeah.
let their guard down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And well, so instead of thinking about like I trust everything, or like
Yeah.
high trust, or funds are like rushing to buy tickets, book trouble, follow updates, clicking quickly without even thinking about it, because they are in vacation mode, they are like
Yeah.
happy mode, excited. Sometimes there's a lot of things going on around the
Yeah. And
World
it's
Cup.
very easy to exploit fans because, like,
Yeah.
tickets are scarce. And if there is a place that's offering tickets, fans might just want to go, yes, there's this place, and now I'm going to book it. And your
And
information now is all over.
exactly, and especially with the scarcity that has been around
Yeah.
tickets for the World Cup, that is making it so hard for like regular fans to actually get.
Mm-hmm.
So the moment they get the chance to get one, like scamming way, they just
Yeah.
go for it. So those are the things that they should be like very very aware of. So it
Mm-hmm.
could be anything related to FIFA or World Cup 2026, business, sponsors, travel companies, hospitality
Mm-hmm.
providers are being targeted through impersonation campaigns and credential theft attempts. Now, the World Cup isn't just a global sporting event. It's becoming a global cybercrime magnet, and most of the attacks will not happen at the stadiums, but it will happen online.
Yeah, because of everything is now digital, right? Back in like maybe a few years ago, everything was still like in cash transactions. Now everything is digital, and I think that is what the attackers would be targeting.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And everybody should keep an eye on what is happening out there.
Yeah,
And hopefully, they will be able to spot the scam before it
it
gets
gets out
to
of hand
them.
now.
But you've been warned. So, everybody watching
Yeah,
the show, they know they're out for you. And if you're going to be a fan, you need to be very careful.
Yeah, and watch out for like small signs. Urgency is, I think, one of the key factors that
Yeah,
people like, especially scammers, would try to use. That hey, you know what? There's this
yeah.
hotel; it's getting booked so fast, and it's right near the World Cup stadium. So don't fall for those. It's too good to be true,
I
anyways.
know, right? I know, and
Yeah.
that like, and there's gonna be like so many like scams, like merchandising, booking,
Mm-hmm.
transportation, not even like tickets, but I don't know, people want to buy a t-shirt online,
Yep.
fake
Many
website.
sectors can be exploited. Yep.
It's gonna be like a honey pot for
Yep.
everything.
Exactly.
So hopefully people are aware of this and they don't lose like sight that this can happen to them.
Yep. Do we have let's talk about the cyber briefing and all of the headlines. So before we jump into that, let's take a look about cyber briefing and its refreshed version.
A new cyber briefing is here. Same essential insights, now with sharper headlines and a much better flow. Get the latest on the threat landscape, incidents, and the real-world impact with executive risk and cybernomics trends. Stay informed on new policies, numbers, and the latest moves for your career in cyber. Whether you're on LinkedIn, Medium, or our new home on Substack, get the briefing that keeps you 2 steps ahead. Check out the refreshed edition and subscribe today.
So, as everybody knows, we do have the top headlines of the week, even though it's Thursday and we still have one more day. And in
Yeah.
cybersecurity is very, very important to complete the week to see if it
Yep.
makes the top headline because we don't know what is going to happen today, tomorrow.
Yeah,
Uh,
and it's going
but
fast.
I know, right? But today we're going to be talking about a surge, and this is sort of associated with the shiny hunters attacks that we've been seeing in the past. There's
Yeah.
been a research and an alert that extortions only attacks they are surging without encryption. So we know these threat actors are targeting like companies or businesses, and they are not even ransoming them, like encrypting their data. They are extortion, like they are like extorting these businesses out of money, threatening, like we're not going to publish and we're
Mm-hmm.
just going to like, so basically ransomware groups, they are changing the playbook. So instead of like
Okay.
the old model where they encrypt the systems
And
and they
then
lock you
yeah.
out, they put a sign, now they're just skipping the encryption entirely because like they feel like they don't care at the end of the day they're going to publish the data or not. So it's a
Okay.
less extra layer of effort, or you know what I
For
mean,
them,
like,
yeah.
so they don't have to like craft an
Anything.
encryption yeah, exactly, or put malware and do everything, like it's just like we exfiltrate the data, then we extort you. So it's sort of the same technique,
Yeah.
without the scare of
The
like
scale
being everything.
tactic.
Exactly. Now they're going straight to your data,
Mm-hmm.
and they know because it's paying better. Because what they're doing, they're stealing
Okay.
a lot of data, more than they're used to do with the ransomware attacks. Now, instead of locking them, they are just asking them to pay with
Mm-hmm.
of like they changed the modus operandi, I can say. It
Mm-hmm.
was like lock, encrypt, pay us with decrypt. But now they're moving to, we get your data, pay us, we don't
Mm-hmm.
publish. So it's
That's
sort of
it.
like the same trust they need to have on the threat actor, that if you pay them, they're
Yeah.
not going to publish, or if you pay them, they're going to give you the decryption key. But
Yeah.
um, now, the importance here is that this new technique is lowering the technical barrier for the attackers. So now they don't need like a complex ransomware. They just need to access data and they exfiltrate them. And it's going to make these attacks way faster and more scalable, I can say. Because we've
Yeah.
seen
Because
in
there's
the
one
past,
less step.
yeah, and we've seen in the past that they were able to obtain the decryption keys, like the law enforcement, and they usually help
Yes.
victims with that.
Yep.
So the ransomware groups were like, we're not going to waste time and resources on creating new ransom, like new malware to encrypt data. We just
Exactly.
go for the data and we extort them and say, you know what, you don't pay, we publish. So it's like it's
Minimize one
changing.
step
Yeah,
and put the
exactly.
law enforcement like at a loss here,
Yeah,
because
so
now they
they're
won't be able to get the key.
exactly. So now this is like professional blackmailing,
Yeah.
as we said it, and we need to like keep an eye on this. Consider that what this is what is happening. Anyway, this is
Yeah.
just a statistic, and how threat actors are moving away from one technique to the next one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I guess the best advice here would be that if you do get like an extortion call, to like avoid it, because I hear from you that if you give them the money, they kind of like get encouraged to do it further and exploit you more. So I think that
And
would be the
once you give
best.
them money, they're gonna come back for more money.
Yeah, they don't
You know
stop.
how it works.
So I
Yeah,
guess it would be the best thing to do is to reach for cybersecurity help, whether you get it from law enforcement. Although they did show law enforcement that right now you don't have the key and you cannot do anything, but still that would be the right
exactly.
direction to go for.
Exactly. Yep. Yep. So anyway, this was mostly like I can say,
Data.
yeah, more data than actually like a threat per se, but that's
Yeah.
something that everybody should start considering a part of like their threat mapping of things, because ransomware
Mm-hmm.
is changing. Specifically, is people are going to spend a lot of money on vendors that help them with encryption tools and things.
Okay.
So if CISOs or executives, they know that the techniques are changing, probably they will be able to shift their budget towards a different
Yeah.
protection tool than
Yep.
the one that protects you against regular or like traditional ransomware.
Yeah, or something that helps you after the fact of the matter. I think they would focus more on what to do to prevent something from going
Yeah.
down in cybersecurity,
Yep.
which
Yeah.
would be, I think, a great approach. This was something that was a research data, but let's move on to something that would have a more real world impact, which is the incident that happened, the episode cyber attack that affected 6.7 million individuals.
And this is a crazy number. Like crazy number, because this is the third largest healthcare data breach we have until today, because as I said, we don't know
Uh-huh.
what is going to happen tomorrow. But this happened last year, and after forensic research finished their report, they were able to conclude that 6.7 million individuals were affected of this data breach. Now,
Okay.
this healthcare company um, is associated with large insurers and providers. So basically, what they do is they collect healthcare data and analytics company, and they provide this information to other providers. Now, this breach is affecting 6.7 million people,
Mm-hmm.
and it's one of the largest one exposures reported to date. And what happened is that episodes, they detected and unauthorized access to their systems. And during like a whole week window, the attackers were able to copy sensitive data stored in the company's environment. Now, the data has been acquired is will be able to create personas, and they will be able to attribute highly sensitive information like names, contact details, date of birth, insurance IDs, social security numbers, and in some cases, sensitive medical information like
Yeah.
diagnosis, treatment
Mm-hmm.
records. So this is not only a PR nightmare, it's a legal nightmare, because there
Mm-hmm.
are so many regulations involved here, and I've seen so many like organisms trying to like help protect. And I feel like the tools these companies are giving, like credit monitoring or
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they
identity
do
theft
do that.
monitoring, is not like enough.
Yeah.
And actually, the other day I was talking to someone. He works for Amazon for AWS, and he said,
Mm-hmm.
"I can even count with my hands how many free credit monitoring or identity monitoring
Theft
I have
monitoring, yeah.
because of all the data breaches my identity has been involved in."
Wow.
So we know that these remediation tools the companies are giving are useless, because if he has more than 10
Mm-hmm.
offers, we know that they are not working somehow, right?
Yeah. It's not enough.
So
And plus, it's very sensitive health data that gets leaked.
yeah, so we know that episodes, they notify the regulators, they notify the individuals, they offer credit monitoring, identity protection services. But
Mm-hmm.
at this point, we know these patches or solutions or trying to, like make things better are not working. Now, the
Mm-hmm.
takeaway here, this is another example on how healthcare supply chain it's becoming the real attack surface.
Yeah, it has always been on top of our list. Every time we talk about attack surfaces, it's either finance or healthcare. It's always on the top. And on top of that, do we remember that incident that happened? I think it was Vastamo
Yes.
psychotherapy. And that was
Hmm.
such a big data breach. And
Yeah.
the attacker was straight up threatening people and saying that I'm going to leak your data and everything you said to your therapist. So
Yeah.
that's a scary problem to be in.
Yeah, and I feel like like there's a lot of companies that they being victims of data breaches affecting millions or
Mm-hmm.
thousands of users, and then they offer you this credit monitoring or
Mm-hmm.
identity protection. But this is not a solution for
Yeah.
nobody, because if you at the end of the day you have like 10 offers to do credit monitoring
Yeah.
and identity protection, is useless, because
Yeah.
my identity keeps getting leaked out there and
And on top
nothing
of
is
that, how
getting
many
done.
times, like, are we gonna suffer through that, right? That person
Yeah.
has suffered through it so many times. I think it's time for companies to take a little responsibility to prevent it from happening so that they don't have to offer solutions that don't really work.
Yeah, and this is a never ending story, because
Yeah.
with the right regulations, sometimes because part of the regulation is they need to offer credit monitoring and identity protection, so they are
Yeah.
actually following the law here, but is it working? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
It seems
maybe the
like a
regulation should
loophole.
change. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a bit more stricter. Moving on to another thing that is going to be under the cybernomics, we're going to talk about the 26% of identity crime victims hit multiple times. So, is this something like that we can talk about here? Because we were
Yeah,
just talking about it, how like the same person is getting, you know, attacked
exactly.
too many
Yeah.
times.
So it's sort of connected to what we are saying before. So once your identity has been compromised, you are 26% more likely to be a victim again than those
Wow.
whose identity has not been leaked online, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So that sort of explains why this person told me they have so many credit monitoring uh,
Mm-hmm.
like uh, 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 like um, offers, because they tend to be hit more than once after they become part of a data breach. I
Mm-hmm.
know.
And companies like you get your data breach leaked from one company, and
Yeah.
you get more prone on the other company also. So that's really not working.
So this means that when someone's identity is stolen or exposed, it often doesn't stop at the single incident. Instead, it just turns in into a cascade or multiple attacks. So, like for example, let's say you know, they open a credit card, and then they use a bank account takeover, and then again they use for medical fraud or tax fraud, or
Yeah.
so it's sort of like a chain of crimes that is happening on this specific victim. So this sort of goes to what we were saying before. So once your identity is out there, you're 26% more likely of being targeted again.
Yeah.
So um, as
How can
users,
we help ourselves here? Yeah.
this is a great question. So this should be a coalition between government regulation, companies' efforts to keep data, and another one is like, and as I always said, do you actually have to give all your personal information to certain
Mm-hmm.
companies? If it's mandatory because and then you cannot use the service, I understand. But if they're just asking for the sake of asking, you should think and say, should I give them my personal information? Should I share all this? I won't be able to change my name. I won't be able
Mm-hmm.
to change my social security number. Do they actually need that information? So those are the questions one should ask.
Yeah, and I think this can affect a lot of people. People who are, let's say, going for a checkup at a hospital, and they are not even getting the treatment from there, but they still have to share the information. Same from seekers as well, because I have noticed this very often that they just give information because they're just hoping to get hired by the company, but the
Yeah, yeah.
company is probably not even like legitimately hiring, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just a scam. So
Yep.
this is something that I have really noticed. And well, once it's out there, it's really difficult to recover from it.
Exactly. Yep. And these were the headlines of today. They were all sort of connected,
Yeah,
and I feel like probably next week we're gonna see what is happening with the World Cup and see if there's any, you
more
know,
news.
anything happening and brewing in cyber regarding that matter.
Yeah, and thank you so much, Sophie, for having me here once again. Would you like to tell us about the new things in the Cyber Briefing newsletter before we go?
Yes, actually, we came up with the new section, which is cybernomics. And this last headline is talks about like cybersecurity numbers. And
Yeah,
I feel like this specific chart, it represents exactly what it is about. And we're bringing some analyzed data so you can make educated decisions for your
yep,
company, organization, and even your
yeah.
family.
Yeah, I think it's much more useful, and you can make quick decisions based on the newsletter, and you can get it straight delivered to your inbox. So make sure that you hit the subscribe button on our LinkedIn and on our Substack so that you can get it delivered straight to your inbox, know all about the stories, insights, and cybersecurity updates. Thank you, Sophie, so much for having me.
Thank you so much. And Nixon 5.
Yeah, I hope we are able to have some great news.
Yes, yes, you're gonna see me celebrating in Times Square. So, and
Looking
giving
forward to it.
cybersecurity advice to everybody. If anyone wants to listen to me, because they're gonna be so hyped.
Yeah, everybody is going to be so hyped. And let's hope to
Okay.
have some more good news coming up.
Yes. Bye, Prapti. Talk to you next
Bye.
Thursday.
Bye
See
bye.
you. Bye, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for our next Ask Me Anything Cyber, a fun, interactive weekly event for everything cybersecurity. Join us every week at noon Eastern Time for another high-energy recap of the week's biggest cyber stories, from data breaches and threat intel to major legal updates. Whether it's a high-profile hack, a new APT on the rise, or a must-attend summit, we've got it covered. But that's not all. We'll also break down the latest job market trends, share our thoughts on cyber stocks, and give you actionable insights to stay ahead. And of course, we wrap things up with what makes this show special, live Q&A with you. Have a question about a breach? Want to know how a threat works? Curious about getting started in cyber? Let us know and we'll answer it live. See you next week.